of silence and then we'll pledge, and then we'll continue the meeting. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, public comment will start with you guys. And
Okay.
It's all right.
Absolutely. So I would like to introduce the board members of WIGA. WIGA is our nonprofit organization, Wabash Economic Growth Alliance. It's an organization we formed to help produce certain projects that were difficult to produce under the city's umbrella. And so we have a great board. There's 6 total, with 3 outside experts that are available to us but not participating. And today we have the board members with us. So Bill Glass is a new resident to Attica, but comes by way of Texas, has been an economic developer for years in Texas. So he's a tremendous asset for us. Brian Kraft, he's a local, been a part of the Attica community, but his family has been a significant part for many, many years. And he's currently a realtor and also a great help. Trish Hargan, Brian, as you know, is it based in Covington? Yeah, so Finley Well Drilling, based in Covington. And then they also own the gas station and also a salon in Attica. So tremendous family to participate. And then Sharon Nagel, as you know, our state representative. She and her husband own Wolf's Candies. And I think the team's pretty phenomenal, actually. We've been very lucky to pull together this team. I wanted you to meet them today because there's a lot of hard work that's gone into this. The development of this product, as we talked about, was 3 years old. WIGA is only slightly less than a year. So, but with this team, we've been able to really progress all of our plans. And so I'm going to let them speak and then I'll just close. Bill, if you want to.
Oh, okay. Jump in. That's awesome. Again, Bill Glass, new to the area, just moved here 2.5 years ago. My wife is from this area, we got a chance to move back. Like Rod said, I came from Texas where I was on a city council and a development board for a long time. And love the area, just love the potential of the area, to see how wonderful the town is and the whole Fountain County area. The Wabash area is great and really love it. And one of the things that we noticed, talking to the folks here is that, rural communities struggling a little bit in economic development, especially, I came from a small town in Texas outside of Dallas. So just to give you, we've had like 3,500 people when we started. And we developed the Economic Development Corporation there. We started working with the city and the county to get some projects built there and to bring in some things that needed at that time. As you know, rural communities, younger people are starting to leave and the workforce is changing and it's really hard for economic growth. And that's one of the reasons why we have the market and the business space to try to bring in younger talent, younger employers, workforce, bring people back into the area. And the business incubation thing that we're working on goes hand in hand with the market, and it actually helped with the driving new business in. We certainly got the letter from Heritage Steel, that's exactly what we're trying to do, and just bring revival to the entire region.
Hi, Brian Kraft. I've been asked to address the cost of the renovation. It's a good price tag there, definitely. So I want to address some of those concerns. If you have any questions about them, I'll be glad to answer them. Basically, you would have to call this a complete renovation. This is more than just a remodel. the first thing on the list is $45,000 in demolition. So there's a big chunk just right there that we'll get down to bare bones, and we're basically working with just a brick shell when we get started. So we'll need to do everything. And that comes with a price tag, of course. When I was asked to talk about this, I kind of struggled with how do I explain why it costs this much. So I went and did what realtors do, and I went and found some comparables. And it's, of course, that's a hard thing to find a comparable to, but what I did was I used a couple of new houses, one built recently in Covington on the golf course, one built in the past couple of years in Attic on the golf course. And there's a building across the street from the courthouse here, commercial building that's been for sale for a while. Our number came in, our $750,000 number came in basically $125 a square foot. And so if you use those three comparables, the building next door is for sale for $97 a square foot. The home in Covington that was recently built was $181 per square foot, which would make that, at our square footage, would make that price tag a little bit over $1 million. And then the home in Attica that was recently built was $151 per square foot. So I really think, the comparables justify that, and seems to be a pretty good deal to me at $125.
And you guys do not fall under the government wage, right? You do not have to pay. We're not a government.
It's a private nonprofit.
Okay. It doesn't be double or triple that, you, sure, if we were doing it.
I would think so, yes. Do you have any questions about the renovations, the work that we're doing, anything about the building?
I know, because I've spoken with Rod on several occasions, that's the project.
We feel like it's definitely a worthwhile project. It'll bring a lot of activity back to downtown Attica. We're saving a historic building. The list of good reasons to do it just keeps going on and on. So,
No.
okay, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Patricia Huggin. My goal this morning is to talk to you about small business ownership. As Todd had mentioned, we're lucky enough to own 3 small businesses here in the community. One of the things that we see that people struggle with is they have this great idea and they don't know what to do with it. We plan to also sponsor a marketplace across from the Deck Studio. And one of the things that we see is that it's not just going to be a low cost brick and mortar place. When you look at it, it's much deeper than that. People have a dream or idea and they just don't know what to do with it. When you look deeper, we're investing in our citizens. One of the best things that you can do is invest in people, and that's what we're doing here. That's what we want to do. The spirit of entrepreneurship and the belief of the growth of an idea and its citizens. We want to believe in our citizens, and I believe in their ideas. We will be offering a network of people, a network of ideas, mentorship opportunities. We'd like to put people in places of successful businesses. Business owners, people who have an idea, pair them with people who have been successful in the business world and help them develop those ideas. Overall support, small business loans, get them connected with people who can get a small business loan up and going. Marketing assistance, we have a great marketer on board with us on our WIGA team, and offer them things like high-speed internet. So it's much more than just a brick and mortar opportunity that we are offering them. We're offering them much more assistance than that. We're offering them belief in the dream. And a lot of people, like I said, they have this idea, they just don't know where to start. So we're offering them much more than that. Brian and I have found that success comes with doing great things consistently, even on the hardest of days. And entrepreneurship is hard. It is hard. And, Brian and I were like, I'm like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what happened today. We look at each other and we're like, no, you wouldn't believe what happened today. And we had each other, to kind of lean on. And he's like, just keep going, just keep going. And I'm like to him, just keep going, just keep going. Sometimes people don't have that other person to say, just keep going. So we would have that support within our network for that person to say, just keep going. In the long run, it's worth it. And we're investing in our community. And really the best thing that you can do, it's not really necessarily investing in a building, which it is. It's a historic building, it's a lovely building, but we're investing in people. Investing in people is where it's at, and believing in people. So that's where we are right now. We want to believe in our citizens, and that's the best place that we can be.
Okay, so I'm the numbers person. I always end up being the treasurer somehow. So, when we went into this, the goal was to figure out, how are we going to financially support this organization? And the city of Attica really stepped up to the plate. The mayor believed in us, the council believed in us. And the goal, of course, was to set up that financial structure, setting up that non-for-profit so that we can work outside of the realm of a governmental unit, which allows us that much better flexibility. With, of course, direct communication constantly with the city of Attica and executive and legislative branch. So what we were able to do, and working with the Baker Tilly financial forecasting plan that they put together for the city, was to make sure that they could allocate specific funds to us. A few years ago, we adopted the food and beverage tax in Attica. That generates about $100,000 a year. And the city of Attica has committed those dollars to us so that we have that operating capital. We're able to do the necessary things we need to do to function as a group and to bring in the right consultants and bring in the right programming. So we have dollars to support this mechanism. We are not just doing this by the seat of our pants. We also have committed to us the seeded dollars from Attica. So through 2025, we're in their financial forecasting plan, which is a great amount of time to get ourselves the right footing. We also, because we're going to do this market that would complement it across the street from the incubator, we have half of the ARPA money from the city of Attica committed to put this market in. That's $368,000. It's a big deal putting this market in. It's going to be it's costly. But the goal is that we need an incubator that can also support the market. And this is for the entire county. This is not for the city of Attica. As we were growing as a group, we started to realize this is way more than Attica. This is Fountain County. And how are we going to help the entrepreneurs within the entire county? How could we grow this new group of people that really want to start businesses? And then the additional piece we need to bring in is, of course, programming. And we know that the state has a program that they're just in the process of putting together that's going to support rural development. We are exactly the profile that they're looking for. We're very excited. We had a wonderful conversation with IEDC in this particular program. We also know we have Matchbox, but they tend to want to bring programming directly into their organization, so into Lafayette. Our goal is to keep everybody in our county. So that's why this incubator within the city of Attica to service the entire county is so critical. We are at this cusp of growth, and we know we're not going to really bring in probably lots of large factories and this other type of industry. But what we know we can do is we can truly grow entrepreneurship. That's kind of the low-hanging fruit. And we know that from that entrepreneurship, if we can create that basis and give somebody, an individual, that support with a group of people who are experts in a lot of different areas, bring in the programming, we're really at that point where it just makes great sense. So just to understand that we do have the funding in place to build that market across the street. We have operational dollars to keep the incubator going while we put everything in place. I feel like that's a time to stop talking.
I didn't do it.
So to wrap it up, that's what we're doing. That's what we put together, and we have a great team. So glad to be part of it. And I'm not a state legislator in this position. I'm a total volunteer.
Federal grant.
I'll let you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this was the first time we've done this, and I think we'll do it again for the council, hopefully. And and we need to perfect how we communicate. So we are working website and all the other things that, social media and so forth. Because we're new, we're just sort of, getting off the ground. But that's the point of why we wanted to come and talk today, because we are getting off the ground and we do need your help. 3 years in the making, but I could not have predicted the amount of momentum that we have behind us right now, because I think we've hit on something that is really needed and could have real power. So Sharon mentioned it a little bit. It's really phenomenal and just something I'm very grateful for. We had a nice meeting with IEDC, Indiana Economic Development Corporation. It's the state-run organization, and they have a new entrepreneurial division with new leadership. So they have just formed. We were able to get in front of them and tell them what we're doing in Attica, and it aligned with their objectives 100%. So they said, we cannot commit money or time or products your way, but we really feel like this could be a prototype project for us. And so that was something we did not expect. What that means is once we're off the ground, we'll have potentially the support of the state to make sure that it works, to make sure that we have the right access to training material and so on and so forth. By sheer coincidence, it happens to be the same time we were opening our incubator. So January of 23 is when we're hoping to have the incubator open. That is the point at which they're willing and able to create new programs. And so if we have the building in place, we're in the game. If we do not have the building, we're not in the game. And that's a timing issue for us that we want to try and accomplish. It's a very important thing to get off the ground in that timing. Also, January 23 is really important to us because of the opening of the market. The market would open in October. The time it takes to get tenants up and running and everything in place, that's a very short time frame. Fortunately, we're only doing it 3 months to the end of the year, but so January is really important to us. Some of the other partners that we've been working with, Matchbox, as Sharon indicated, they do have a program they're rolling out. They asked us to roll it out, but the timing isn't good with all that we've got going on. They essentially went back to Wynn because the director of Matchbox is on the board at Wynn. They went back to Wynn and said, we'd like to roll out our accelerator program to the counties around us. And so Wynn is providing funding for them to do that. That means there are 6 people within the county, every county, but Fountain County, that can participate, and they will be handpicked by Matchbox. And essentially what they do is they go through the accelerator program that they already have in Lafayette, and they go through it for free. And then at the end of that, Wynn will continue to pay for an additional year of co-working space in Lafayette. So it is a great opportunity. It's just not the opportunity we were hoping for because
I have a meeting scheduled with them this week.
Yeah.
Should I?
and that's the reason for it.
Well.
Yeah.
I should keep the meeting.
Yes, I would keep the meeting. I think it's still a great opportunity.
Okay.
We were, and I'd be happy to sit in if you want to, but it's really, that's what they're going to present because they presented it to us. We partnered with them on the Ready Grant, and we thought we had a partnership that would continue on. We haven't been able to come to terms on some of the training material. And so what they've decided to do is to pursue this program, which is limited to 6 people. And so we're still working on a partnership. We have not said no, but we're just not able to find the common ground at the moment. We're hopeful that the IEDC partnership takes care of all of it. That would be nice. But and Landmarks, the last one, we have several other partners we're working with, SBDC, and I forget the other one, but we're working with growing new partnerships essentially because we're going to need that. Indiana Landmarks did something really incredible. We've been kind of pushing back on them a little bit because we were listed as the 10 most endangered one of the 10 most endangered downtowns in the state of Indiana for 3 years running, and nothing came out of it. And then they ran through a Preserving Main Street grant process, and we were listed top 3, but we didn't win. And so I pushed back pretty hard, which others did as well, that, you know, if you want to help us, you know, there's not much that what we can do with a title, you know. So Marsh, the head of Indiana Landmarks, did something pretty spectacular. He entered Attica into a grant program with the National Park Service. And we won that grant. We were one of 11 communities in the nation that won that grant. That grant is for $650,000 for all of downtown. So as I understand it from Marsh and Tommy, we'll be able to achieve $100,000 of that. And we'll use that for the exterior of our building. They're also opening up another grant to us, which is another $100,000. So for $200,000, we will get all those custom windows replaced, tuck pointing, maybe some roof, and new storefront. So that's tight on $200,000, but it's a tremendous add. And we're very fortunate because all of that stuff came together at the same time. So I know the ins and outs of your budgets for ARPA, and I know the demand that's on it. I would just ask that you consider the amount of jobs and progress that this will make and the timing of it. If we had to wait for next year to get funding from general fund or whatever you decide to do, it wouldn't work as well anyway. We would miss some opportunities. So that's our spiel.
I know the park committee met this past week with the council, and of course, you know, we just had our the agenda recommendations. And what's not on there right now is renovations, you know, at Maple Corner, because we have a lot of unknowns and of what that's gonna cost. So just because the committee recommends $150,000 does not mean Commissioners Council are gonna stick with that. It could be more. Some of it could be dependent on these other things that are listed or not listed. But right now, what is listed on our agenda is all that we know of at this point. 3.1. So we can have half, and we're in the process of getting the other half. So I know you had mentioned if it's not in the budget this year because you're wanting to get rolling.
That's the issue, yeah. Yeah, we just have, you know, I didn't anticipate this kind of pressure, but it's good pressure, you know, to have that potential with the state is really.
So from us, I mean, are you needing to know like within 30 days or
We are in the process of closing on the building.
today?
Well, I was hoping for a vote today. We're in the process of closing on the building, and it would be good to know if we can afford to renovate it. And I believe it's June 30th we're signing, or that week.
Around about that day.
27th, yeah.
So currently, the 150 that we think that we can commit, is that low, you're needing?
They basically need
Work on-
750.
Yeah,
750 from us?
Yeah, we worked really hard. We had 6 different professional reviews, architect, engineer. I mean, we really worked hard to get a plan and pricing. And it has been priced by, you know, electrical, HVAC, so forth. We know for sure we can't do it for the 150. And we, as you remember, we came in with a higher number. And I went back and we combed through it all, and we got it down to 100,000 because there was some misunderstanding about how much had to be repaired on the building. And so we were able to vet all of those. That's our number. I don't know how to change it, to be honest.
My opinion on is ARPA money started out, why the federal government chose to do water and sewer. I mean, I can see for cities, municipalities, counties don't have water and sewer, so at first we were kind of in a jam. What are we gonna do? Well, the town of Hillsborough has a small factory that sits outside, and it needs a sewer line right now. Well, perfect, we can use ARPA for that, so we've committed $450 to that. The town of Kingman, and we've never done anything for Hillsborough that I ever, not in my 8 years here. Town of Kingman, they have arsenic on the water, so they're looking at a $4.5 million thing, and they would take anything. They were looking in the range of 400,000. I would back that 100%, because it's water, it's drinking water. Again, Kingman's never done anything that I know of in Kingman. So we're getting different sections of the county, so I feel we're distributing the ARPA money fine. Now, your project, very worthwhile. I understand exactly what you're trying to do. As you well know, Fountain County does not have an economic development person. Hopefully, one day we will. Or Merck or do somebody in town. So the Fountain County projects, we're giving $200,000 to our sheriff's department for cameras. So if any of our deputies turn on their lights, pull their gun, cameras automatically come on. That's great. If they're shot and fall down, camera comes on. That was a great expenditure of it too. So as far as Maple Corner, what did you think we needed?
Somewhere in the range 1.5 to 2 million, and 2 million was probably high. So.
So, I mean, I think we could lower that to 1.2, 1.25 something. And free some monies up for a project like this. This is going to be helping the northern part of the county, actually the whole county. And I actually believe Warren County will come in too. And when they do, we'll cross that bridge. So, and I talked to Andrew this morning, and Andrew's on Zoom right now, but he's not he can't say much. So he just got home from the hospital last night after a major fracture. So for a project like this, the White Hillsborough, like Kingman, that's going to help citizens of our county. They've done their homework, they've got a federal, they're one of 11 places in the United States that got funds for their downtown area. They have worked hard. They've got funding from Attica to keep this program going. It's not like we're going to give them $750,000 and fall on its face because they've already got a commitment in tax dollars. Good commitment. That's my feeling. I don't have a problem with the 750, but ultimately it's up to 2 more commissioners in the council, so.
Personally, I mean, I don't have a problem with around 500,000. Because like Tim, I agree, we're trying to spread out, the money as evenly as possible. Sounds like the project you guys are having is a lot more versatile.
It's further reach,
It's
yeah.
not just sewer, it's a lot of other things, and I appreciate, the entrepreneuring, just the growth in individuals, not just there, downtown. So, I mean, I persuaded, to, but like I said, it's gonna be up to the council. Final, are they gonna be agreeable?
How about up to 750, I put a motion on for up to, depending on what the council. How they go.
I mean, you're gonna have to wait until the second week in July, to really know. I know we have some council here in the audience. I don't know if they, have something they want to say or some concerns. Quiet. I just
First of
wanted-
all,
I just
thank
wanted-
you, Brenda, and I appreciate your information you got today. But Tim, I didn't hear your last comment over there, I didn't quite hear.
Oh,
that.
well, I said I would make a motion for the commissioners to vote on today up to 750,000. And then, unless the council decided that they want to do less, and then of course it would have to come back to us at that point.
And you know, another thing we talked about the other day in the council was, you know, this ARPA money, how much do we have out, listen, already? We want to know where we are. I understand Hillsborough and Kingman. I see where Attica is going. I used to live in Attica. I think Attica, a small community, Covington, Beezersburg, Hillsborough, and so on. We all are in need of improvement. To keep our local people not only satisfied, but have things that they can go to without running outside the county. That's what we're really thinking about. My own other point would be this ARPA money, and it seems now it's beginning to vary. As it started out in one category, now we're starting to see different information that we can use. I still go back, Brenda, to the point, how much money right now out of the ARPA money do we have involved?
Right now, if we would use the 150,000 for Attica, Kingman, 450 for Hillsborough. If we did 225,000 for the courthouse, 200,000 for the highway department for the salt barn, and then the bottom line is $176,358. That's $1,351,358. So
So there were,
that leaves, 1.5. Now, we do have some other funds if council is agreeable to, if they don't want to do the 200,000 for the salt barn, they choose some other fund or our building, the courthouse, instead of using our funds for here.
And I forgot to mention that. The courthouse is gonna be 100 years old, 12 or 13 years, or whatever. This needs a total renovation, which we tried talking about a couple years ago. And it was
But there
basically
was some
installed.
historical grants, time, I think.
Bottom line is, we just need to take care of this building ourselves, because it's our money shouldn't. As far as doing the courtroom, at this point, I would be against doing 200,000. I would just do the whole building at once. And not like Warren County, it took them 5 years, I just understood this morning, to get the whole project done. I'm talking overnight, I'm thinking that's something the county ought to fund, through our funds. This ARPA money is just money that's falling into our lap. I don't want to waste it in any way. I don't think we've wasted any. But your numbers on, the committee's numbers on like Kingman, I just said I would give Kingman 400 if it were me. And the salt barn, that's another thing that, if we fund everything else and there's some money left over. Yeah, we might use that, but again, they're county general funds. So. That's what people pay taxes for. Well, anyhow,
I would be okay with that motion. Like I said, it's ultimately, the council's gonna have to vote and see where they want to go. They may have to look at some of their other funds a little closer to see, hey, can we maybe use these on, instead of using ARPA funds to create a, so that we can.
well, one thing also that we're gonna have to look at, Covington, Attica, Petersburg, Kingman, whatever. We need to stop thinking of Fountain County as individual towns and things. The whole county's got to work together, period, to move on in the future. So, and I think we do, the county can do a decent job at that. But, or we're just gonna fade away. If we don't have growth like this, or people trying, so they try and it fails in 5 years, they try. Or they try and it's a huge success. And they make national whatever, putting this together. So,
Your pictures will be in the magazine.
Anyhow, I'll make the motion to, allot 750,000 for the right,
We got,
project.
Wabash Economic Growth Alliance. In case anybody's wondering. I didn't catch it. Okay. I will second that. So are you done? You're gonna be on the agenda for this council's meeting?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And you can work with Colleen on the wood. I appreciate you all coming.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
if you don't want to sit through the rest of, you're welcome.
I think all your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, let's move on to for the first minutes.
Well, I came up.
Well, you can the drainage minutes, because that was when
Yeah.
Peter wasn't here. How about let's do that one.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the May 31st drainage.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Amanda is on there.
He's gone.
He's on?
He's gone.
Here's the top, who's on?
Let's just say that.
Yeah, we'll say this one.
Okay.
Commissioner, before you close the public comment.
Yes.
Speak.
I know. All right, Tim reminded, we were already into that. We'll go back.
I failed to call to be on the agenda, but 2.5 years, I'm trying to round up some interest in restoring these covered bridges in Fountain County. And after the money that just spent, I'm a little confused by everything. But Fountain County Art Council is pursuing the importance of saving those covered bridges in Fountain County, particularly Casey Hill Bridge right now. We have had it evaluated by USI Engineering, and USI BS had looked at it a couple of years ago. We would like to ask if we could proceed with having another bid by BS Engineering. And then secondly, we would like to cable the bridge, which is another way of stabilizing it. That fee would be covered by the Art Council. We have received a $10,000 grant from the VAR, National VAR, and they will cover the bill for stabilizing the bridge with the cable. So hopefully that'll buy us a little more time, because this is we're going on 3 years on Labor Day on this project. And we have raised over 200,000 with perhaps another 100,000 that we have promised. But we had hoped that the Fountain County would step up and help us with funding on this project. If you have not had a chance to go down and see Wallace Bridge, I would ask that you make a point of going to speak, because it's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. Mr. Ellingwood worked very hard about 5 to 10 years ago to stabilize it by putting crossbars in there, and it is holding it up, but it's in absolutely deplorable condition right now. And with the Covered Bridge Festival and talk about economic development, you know, this is a key historic thing that we have within this county. I would hope that Fountain County will step up and help with this. You need to go look at Wallace Bridge and at least this summer address the situation there. It needs to be sprayed, painted, and it needs to have all the debris pulled away from the bridge. I was in Park County over the weekend. It's wonderful what they've done with their historic preservation. There's no reason why this county can't do the same and not spend anywhere near $750,000. Can we move ahead?
The reason I personally voted for that, whether it's Hillsborough, Kingman, or Attica, it involved people of the county. I mean, as far as people, I know what you're saying, but that directly involves, you know, Hillsborough jobs, Kingman, just the fact that they need drinking water, and Attica for a group that has put
back together so fast, and Park County has an economic development group just like this one. That's doing very well now. I am in no shape or form, we have paid for architects for the bridges, we paid out money for the bridges. And we want to support it, and we will. And we're gonna talk to, Jason today about when the pole going down and cutting brush away from, when the guys slow down a little bit, cutting brush away from the bridge. And we're going to talk about getting the guy from Tennessee to come in and paint it. So we are going to help with the rope on the bridge. We appreciate what you guys have done. And we are going to work with you. This is just different fun. I mean, it's just part of it.
I understand.
So please, don't.
Really frustrating from our point of view.
Well, and unless you bring it to our attention, you know, the need of the painting and everything, and we do have a covered bridge fund, there's not much in it. But I think as far as painting, we're doing some smaller, we should be able to do that. So that's not, so it's not the issue that obviously it is right now, so.
Is there any issue with us going ahead and having a cage mill? No. I presume it will be Chad Reitmeyer from CLR. We don't have that yet, but he said he would look at it again. He spoke to us about it a few years ago. He said he would look at it again, but not until after August. The quote that we received from USI was much higher, of course, than we anticipated, and the engineering fees alone were more than double what VS's engineering fees were. So we wondered if perhaps it would be feasible to ask VS to look at it again and give us another figure. I know it's been 2 years.
And I have said also, possibly USI charged regular county fees where VS charged like an individual account with or private. I don't know. Because I know there is a difference.
But maybe that was the difference.
Yeah.
In that case, I think perhaps we can.
I mean, and maybe that was just, I don't know, maybe it was overlooked. I don't know. Maybe they didn't understand. But we paid for that. It wasn't.
I don't know. I know we paid up to a certain dollar amount for them to do the study. Correct. I think there was an on-call. Okay.
Okay.
I have to check to see what they. But we did not, we don't have one.
Well, yeah, do we have one with VS?
No, I don't think we do this year.
Okay.
I don't know what an on-call is. An on-call is just that they will provide certain services up to a certain dollar amount. Okay. They were agreeable to it. So,
Well, we just felt perhaps it was worth checking into. To see such a difference.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
sorry about that. Anybody else for public comment? Okay. Well, I'll go on to approve the claims and payroll claims.
Claims 1 to 194 and payroll.
I'll second that. All those in favor? No. Review and acknowledge Printer Zone reconciliation and upward comparison report of funds for May.
I'll make that motion. To approve it.
All second. All those in favor? Aye. May report of questions, clerk, recorder, chair.
Make the motion to approve.
Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Corporate certification, Colleen has to send something to the state, and that's where we are. Yeah. Three covered bridges.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Can you clarify what that is?
It's just certifying that that the county has 3 covered bridges in this county, and she has to send that to the auditor state, and that's where they will send about $1,800 to $1,850.
All right, thank you.
It's just a form you have to fill out every year.
Okay,
Okay, Valley Oaks, the request for donation for healing violence, and I know it's been budgeted and just for budget $1,000.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second, all in favor?
Aye.
No. Fountain County Building Board, we general on state utility, this annual report every year, continuing disclosure compliance. He works with the auditor as far as like beginning receipts, disbursements, and a whole lot of other information.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
But now we're on to the ARPA, from the recommendations by the committee met Monday after the council. And so it's recommended the 150,000 to the allotted for Kingman, for Attica, 225,000 for the courthouse renovations at the courtroom, county highway, so far on 200,000. So that being said, I think, well, I didn't know if you wanted to change the Attica for up to 750, then.
Well, this was you guys' direction.
That's just what they were, that's just committee's recommendations of the funds. It's not that we want to, we're going to be spending them out immediately.
Oh.
I know county highway, they were, Jason, when would you have to order? Let them know to get rid of that salt farm.
I told them to ditch, I believe it was around August.
Okay. So do you want to this until after the or the council, I guess. Council to kind of discuss. They're gonna finalize it. I mean, we can go along with these and just make our recommendations and then.
Yeah, we said this is what the committee, and then it's just, everything I just said is my.
Well, and I did agree to the up to 750, so
Brenda, we can't vote on it until July anyway, because if we're gonna use ARPA funds, we had to get another quote.
gotcha, okay.
And so he's working on that, so how we would be ready until your meeting first, and then ours second. So he can be ready for August.
Okay, so I guess we'll table this until we'll just table this until. Yeah, I can. Maybe to make a motion up to 750. They're kind of one.
Let's just wait it.
All right. On to the next page, table 4 minutes. Proposal.
Started.
I mean, we met, conference call, and I think there was a few questions as far as, some of our options. There's one where we did not want to go with, that was transfer property. We didn't have to go through the bidding process at a certain point, correct?
Well, I think this is just a simple fact that we want to hire them for the project. That's just your design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they gave you my recommendation.
Okay, because I know the comment was made that we have to get another firm, and I think for engineering, I think you have to.
County line, that's still rights. Yeah. Part of that, engineering, consider it service.
But this was our. More.
Services you need to do. Services. It depends on the full approach to the project. They will be designed to build. That's what has to be designed, the architect, it's just. You can have an architect and regulators. From design. No, it's all we. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is building. And it's just really all. No. I think they consider that. Good job, also. Okay.
So we're waiting for the water committee to.
Well, if we actually don't have to cancel, we won't have to bid. And it's like, and we're higher than that, so, and it's working for many times, so. I'll make a motion. KJG Architects and Catalog.
Okay. I'll second that motion. All in favor? Tax intercept program. And this is. This. Okay, good. I like it.
Yes. So I told you I was going to clerk conference and I would ask all the other clerks this week in regards to how many other counties are utilizing this program. The only counties that raised their hand and came to me were Vanderburgh County, Porter County, and Knox County, which are a little bit bigger counties, obviously, than Fountain County. And we are way low on the intercept. Not only that, but a lot of our tickets in Fountain County are out of state. So it wouldn't even apply. It only applies to Indiana drivers. That it would intercept their tax refund for those fees. And it is a lot more work than what I believe it is worth. And once again, it's not the court's responsibility to collect fines and fees. It is the clerk's responsibility. There is no contract. It's just a matter of the clerk giving permissions to the state to turn that program on. And I am not willing to do that. So my answer is no, not interested.
All of the elected officials in that capacity.
Do you want us to deny this program? I would take that motion.
Yeah, no, yeah, I have. I was just wondering if we.
Well, I just want-
Clerk doesn't want to do it, she's not gonna do it.
Well, but they put it on us, so I have no problem making a motion to
Okay,
deny,
I'll make
because
that
it is not
motion.
a for
Yeah.
interest. You want me motion?
Yeah, I'll make one.
I'll second.
Aye.
Your call. Okay, next, I want that is Tim or? Yeah.
We are going to send Warren County a letter of our intent to dissolve the Warren Fountain Health Board. We are going on our own, measure to decide.
We have.
We haven't decided on that. All. I will make a motion for Kent to send a letter to Warren County Commissioner that we're dissolving County agreement.
Second that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anything else? Move on to departments. Is Barb here? Yes. Okay.
Morning. So, had a meeting last week with, Roger and, Matt, reference our sewer line system and the problems we've been having. Roger originally came out, looked at the drawings, a little worse about what he saw, so we had Matt come out and run camera through the lines going out and that. We had a couple of proposals on the table. The first proposal was, we were gonna try to put a manhole outside of the facility, and run the lines into that manhole, and if we had to clean out, we could do that. After careful consideration, obviously, we're gonna have to go through the footers and all that to get out to that point. Thought it was gonna be a huge hassle. Matt suggested staying with inside the building and offsetting the drains coming into, instead of all three are coming in together right now into one. We're gonna offset them with inside the building, not have to do a lot of boring underneath, the footers and all that. With that being said, that means we're going to have to cut the concrete out of the floor in the kitchen. I think it was bigger, about 20 by 10 area. Cut that out and then offset them, 45-degree angle or whatever, to where we're gonna work them in this part and another one in the other part of it. Matt felt by doing that could fix the problem. We can't say 100%, but I think we're confident to say that that'll probably, because of the way it'll offset it enough that it'll flush it and push it down. Matt was going to take care of the concrete. He reached back out to us on Friday, said he was going to have that contracted. They were supposed to be in there on Saturday to look at that, and they didn't make it. She called me this morning. They gave the dimensions to the company or whoever's going to do the cutting of the concrete. Yeah, and she was supposed to send a quote to me on the pricing. I've not received it. So hopefully today we'll have that, on that. But a lot of logistics are going to play into this. Obviously, it's going to take at least probably comfortably 2 days to do this, which means that building will be out of commission. No water, stools, anything like that. So we're going to have to move our individuals somewhere for those 2 days. Possibly the fire station. I might have a chance to talk with Troy in the town at this point to see if that's a possibility. Because that's kind of where we're trying to keep it in the center. And then of course the mess we're going to have with that. And then, on top of that, we're just cutting that floor out. That means we're going to have to come back in and we're going to have to replace that floor. The tile that's on there now, it's just a little 12 by 12 tile on there right now. We need to have a company come in and look at replacing that and put a tile on top of what's there. So I don't have a price at this point, but we'll have to figure in what it's going to cost for Matt to do that. And, get the new floor and that in there. And probably looking at somebody's going to have to clean it too. Possibly send in, especially probably clean because of all the dust and debris we're going to have. Roger, do you want to add anything? Yeah. The way the sewer system in that building was designed was gonna flow from the west to the east, to the east and go north of the road. That has changed. It goes from the west to the center, from the east to the center, it goes down to the south, the manhole, into a cleanup. The pipe is really shallow, it's like 2.5 feet. So whatever we retrofitted at the time, getting the sewer out. I do not know what's going on inside the slab. We do not know what slopes those pipes are at. When we ran the camera, we see some valleys where the water is being held up in the pipes, so there are some flat pipes there. This solution is the easy and cheap way with 60% probability of working. But as I told Garth, and I will tell you the same thing, if this does not work, we will have to go back outside, set a deeper manhole, and go through the filters and all that. The difference is the project that can cost us $1 right now, if we do the full thing for the outside, it's gonna cost us $10. So let's go with the $1 project, see what happens, hopefully that fixes the problem. And if it doesn't, I want you guys to know that this could eventually come back, and we end up having to do offset anyways. The slope are super flat, for them, and that's part of the problem that was causing. I think the building is kind of totally definition for probably more than 2 days, because the floor slab has not only the sewer, it has the water main and everything running through it. While they're cutting that concrete, they nick any one of those lines, so it's a repair job. Not a big deal, it's all fixable, it's just a matter of mentioning that. Doc may have to relocate its crew for maybe 3-4 days. Other than that, I think that's the right way to proceed right now. It's not gonna cost the, we can go with the $10 option and fix it forever, but it's a $10 option, it's very expensive. I think it's the right thing to do right now and see where we go. Hoping to have a number for you this morning, but keep checking emails. I'm not receiving them. As soon as I get something, I'll forward it to you. I did tell the council last Monday what was going on. I told them I had a meeting on Thursday. So once I get that, I will forward it on to them also and let them know. We talked about possibly being able to do this maybe like the second week of July. But I think that we still be up in the air right now. Sooner the better, but we also got to make sure we have more ducks in a row, where we're going to move people, cost, how we're going to do it. So, but like I said, the only thing I have a question is Matt has been there twice to siphon that out. And obviously there's a cost to that. My budget can't handle that right now. So I don't know what we want to try to do with that. Suggestions, Colleen, whatever you think, I don't know, but I paid the other 2 bills out of that.
I'm not access to a lot of those phones, so you don't worry.
Do we, I don't know. I was thinking we could wait and lump it all into this together, but I can check with Matt and see if he's okay with that. If not, I'll get with you and figure out what we want to do with that.
Yeah, let me check with council and see if we can use some capital outlay.
Okay. I'll check with Matt too. Matt might be knowing that we might have put it all in the whole project too.
Yeah, just so you get paid.
Yeah, he may be okay. If he knows it's gonna go in that whole project, he may be all right with that. So I'll double check with him, and if he's not, I'll get with you, Colleen,
Okay.
and figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, I do have the drawing here if you want to see what Roger come up with and that, but it's up to you guys, kind of see where the plan is. We'll look at that. But that's about all I got going. Great Monday morning, right? Hey, Garth.
Awesome.
You may want to mention, in future years, you want to start the budget for maintenance on that building. You have some flooring that needs to be repaired beyond that room. You have the water main that's coming in, is very small, that needs to be replaced. So you have some things you probably want to start putting in your budget, some maintenance dollars for that building. We've talked about that with the, some of the things, we're 10 years in the building, a lot of times you look at that as, I think it's still new, but you guys know that is the traffic we've got going through there is increased. It's an ongoing question is always asked is, why all of a sudden we're having troubles with the drain. The only conclusion Jeff and I can come up with is we got more people in there at a given time than what when we originally started. So, you know, I can't, either people are using more toilet paper. I know at one time we thought they were using flushable wipes, which Matt will flat out tell you, those are not conducive for sewer systems. I can't answer that question. I just know we've got an issue that we've got to address. So, or we're gonna hit another.
Roger, how many feet are we talking to do a quick fix job versus the $10 job?
The quick fix job is gonna be probably altogether about 40 linear feet. It's in a 20 by 10 area where we're bringing in the pipes at different angles. The $10 job is gonna be close to 300 linear feet with potentially 1 or 2 manholes.
Okay, so the dollar per linear foot is a maybe versus the $10 is a definite fix.
The $10 is a definite fix,
Okay.
but it requires a couple of deep manholes connecting to the sewer main, the city sewer main. Right now, what we see is the pipe going very, very shallow until it gets to the main, and it turns at 90 and drops into the main.
So the grade wasn't correct when it was installed?
It wasn't installed to design, it was retrofitted, it didn't come out of the right side of the building, so whatever happened there, it happened. When I design sewers, I don't put them 2 feet below the ground, it's 2 feet below the ground, it's very shallow. So we need to go back to the main, set up manhole, connect directly to it, drag it back, then we'll have a lot of depth. So as soon as they flush and that water leaves that building, it's not stopping.
Right.
That's an expensive fix. A manhole alone today is probably close to $12,000 because of depth. The upper manhole will be close to $6,000. You have $20,000 in manhole before you put pipes or labor or anything.
Either way, or just the
Just the $10
fix?
Yeah. The other one, I would assume probably it's about $20,000 job total.
Right.
Cutting the concrete, fixing the pipe, but he'll get a
Start to
certain.
finish.
And that may just fix the problem. Right now you have an intersection where 4 pipes are coming together. Once we stagger them and wire them into that pipe, it'll allow for the water to continue flushing
But
down.
there's still a potential of it hanging up, so
But
correct?
there, because
In
of
the
the slopes are very flat in that building, so there is that potential, yes. And I don't think we can ever, without tearing the entire slab of the building, which is no problem.
Time frame versus one versus the other.
One can be done in a week, one can be done in a month. The impact internally is the same.
Right.
It's 2-3 days. The rest of the work will be on the outside.
Right, that's what I mean. There's, yeah, same time frame inside.
Functionality.
The outside's gonna take more time.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
To me, it's worth taking the chance on doing the smaller fix right now and seeing if it works. I think it will help that intersection being eliminated, allow the water to flow.
The only problem I have with that though is you put time and money into something that is a potential. Then you gotta come back, if that doesn't work, then you're gonna spend more time and money on the definite.
Yes.
Okay.
But just so you have all the tools at
Right.
your hand, if we go with the definite, we're cutting through foundations. If we have a cracked foundation that starts to settle, you're gonna have cracks in your wall. It's a bigger
Right,
ordeal than just what we're doing internally.
right.
It's doable, engineering wise, it's doable. It's just, those are things you need to think of, absolutely. Maybe they won't happen,
Right.
depends on the contractor, but they could very well be happening. So.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you, Bart.
So encouraging, right? I was hoping for better news, but that's all I have. You have anything else?
All of you have anything?
Just keep it short and simple, save it for the next meeting. At conference last week, I spoke with some gentlemen from Family Genealogy from Salt Lake City, Utah, where they're willing to come in and preserve our marriage records and maybe some others at no cost to the county. And I've had his information since before I was clerk, and they actually spoke with Jessica prior to me. And there are several counties who've actually, Montgomery County is one of them that has utilized their services. And so I'm going to get more information and I'll present it to you next month. So
Foundation or something?
I can't remember what it is. Didn't bring it with me and I've had a lot of other things going on this week, so. Put it on the agenda for next meeting and I'll present it then, okay? Okay. Thank you.
Venus, your bill, how many? Eric?
Don't really have anything to do, other than we still are getting complaints. We're meeting with Ken to address, the cases that we have pending right now, to get those all together.
Yeah, I just
And
got a message about the one out Sand Hill Road.
that's when I
That one of
would
them?
meet with,
Okay.
if it's the same
Okay,
complaint,
yeah.
yeah, that's one that we have on our agenda to talk with Ken about. So.
We have had progress from the one down 234 with the Kentucky Bank.
Yes,
And I'll talk to the sheriff about whether he's a victim yet or not. Terry.
Yeah, that's what I was actually told about. So apparently the bank has to contact their attorney and have their attorney send me something.
But they're probably gonna file a writ of assistance. They're trying to, they've got to be
Well,
evicted.
apparently,
So they're turning it down until next week, so.
so my question is, the order's already out there. I've got it. It was issued back in May to the victim. Am I legal to go down there and say, get out? Instead of him.
And he's constantly still hauling trash.
Yeah, he's actually, so I picked my kid up from Vale and Hay one day. He comes out, I get the truck, I go down 234, and he goes, truck is loaded with, I mean, this is like a week ago. Going to his house. Well, he finally pulls over, his stuff's hanging. I go around and come back, he's checking it off in the yard. So, you know, he failed to show up for that quarter. I'm not sure if he was actually mailed anything.
If you have a writ of assistance, that's not really contestable. I mean, if the judge signed a writ.
Well, it states on there that they're responsible for sending me, you have it. I'm not trying to talk today.
Yeah.
Anyway, it does state that they're supposed to send, they're supposed to be, when you contact the law. But this paper is out signed by the small claim judge. Says he was evicted. Now,
There's a difference between eviction, order of eviction and a writ of assistance. So.
right, this is an eviction. So,
If the court's order is adjudicated that they are evicted, then the next step is for the bank, the plaintiff to move for a writ of assistance, and then that's the.
which we're waiting on that attorney to get back from the case. So, okay, I can wait on that. In the meantime, I will let him know that he won't be staying there much longer. So. Got 64 in jail. It's down a little bit, that's due, so we got some issues. That was not paid, but we are being paid for 36.
Right.
So we're still making money. Right. And actually, we're more. So.
Good.
I had to contact our insurance company. The air conditioners on the roof were actually hit by lightning and fried the motherboards and both. I called the insurance company, it's gonna take care of that. So, SRI, which is our tax, our sheriff's company, had sent this to me. And the ordinance, we guys look over and sign. And then it's a registry.
Okay, so we'll do the next one.
Yeah, it's no.
Well, good work, though.
Yeah,
So,
there's
you're all day.
Monday, yeah, my phone lighting up, so.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all we had, we can't, so over a caseload, so. Unless you guys have anything for us?
Did you get us some,
Yes, I did, I got, that's one of them.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Eric. Eric.
Terry Dunn.
Yep.
Kind of two of them right there.
So, why? Terry, we'll go, he's on the lead.
And he's talking.
I'm sorry.
Are you good? You just kind of slid in there with the health department, so I.
Yeah.
Do you have any more?
Okay, thanks.
Jason.
I just have a couple things for you guys. The first thing, a bid notice for the roller that we're trying to sell, is that?
Yeah, I got it ready, I'm just gonna get it to Colleen to send in the paper, because we're at the mercy of the publication schedule, so I don't know if that's gonna be, hopefully we get it published, just we have to time out the number of days. So it's with one of the commissioners meeting, or we can look at having a bid, or we can, you know, on another day.
Okay.
We can have somebody here.
Do you need anything else from me? Okay. Thank you for doing that. We had a pre-con meeting with Milestone. They are down there mobilizing, supposed to be down there today, getting the road prepped for paving on 900 South. We have signage down there for public, and so that's taking place. USI started our bridge inspections last week. And I have also sent in the information to NDOT for bridge number 202 in Stone Bluff. So everything is moving forward on that. As far as the salt barn, I was advised to get another estimate, so I called ClearSpan. Just waiting to get another estimate back from them, so.
I really think that full amount has to be fully bid, that's a over 150,000. So I don't know if you have so that it's done the design, if you have engineers that could put the bid specifications together. I don't know if I can draft it, but it's better if you have professional put together the bid specs.
Yeah, I can see Grace on do that.
One of them, it's the same kind, one of the companies, the same as the one that's built one in Montgomery County.
If there's an exception, that's great, but I'm not aware that there is.
I don't know what there is, I just wonder what process they're going through.
I'll talk to Jay. No, I'll talk to him.
They've just been the winning bidder.
Jason, are you gonna still need geotechnical for the foundation?
Depending which design we go with, ClearSpan was just talking about a pad, slab, and then using building blocks from one of the concrete companies for the walls. So that was, so no geotech for that, but if we were to move forward with Grace, yes, we'll. So, okay, thank you. We have one grader that's out of warranty today. I talked to Chuck Skelly from West Side. He was supposed to give me some prices on what it was going to cost. We do have a grace period of like 6 weeks, so he's working on getting an exemption from John Deere for that. So we're trying to keep on top of the warranty information for those. Right. Other than that, that's all that's going on. The guys are out grading and hauling material to the roads. Getting pipes put in.
Okay.
Anything? I mean,
I'm sure we'll be in touch later.
I'm sure.
The daily thing.
Right here, Roger.
I can give you a quick update on the landfill.
Okay, good.
It's easy. The Eastern Pond Estate, we're gonna have Daryl Bell give a price estimate along with straining the road. Everything is staked, we have volumes, we give them to, they'll give us an estimate for that. It should be a small amount of job, I don't know if it needs to be bid out, especially with them being next door and having done most of the work in that, you know, can't tell you if we could do a contract and attach that to it. Should be. I don't know. Could be. It's a small job. It's we have to fill out that eastern pond so we can close our paperwork with item. And the road is just not on top of that. And while I have your attention for a minute, I have good news for you guys. All the samples from the jail tank came clean. Awesome. Yeah. So I'm finishing the report and you can tell the mayor you can have the building.
Thrilled.
You have everything on it.
I believe that you.
Okay.
Well, I think Kent was still working till the out.
Yes.
I just want to let you guys know, it's pretty clean environmental.
My question to you.
Yeah, and we have a few small hits of lead, but that's normal with fuels and it's probably just drops on the ground.
Good news.
Yeah.
As long as it was
Yeah.
starting to be, you know, Debbie Downer.
No, that's a win for you guys. That's awesome. That's it. I have nothing else.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Anything else for us?
No, they're not.
No, you got anything?
Nope.
And Brenda, Connie, and Connie, if you guys can think of any, Colleen. Sorry. That's a good name. I will not be here, for the next meeting. I'll be out of the city, so if you guys need anything for them, please let me know. I'll be happy to make sure. Thank you.
Well, see the treasurer here. Kathleen, did you have anything? No. No. You want to make a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second, all those in favor? No. That was drainage meeting.